Hey guys, it's Holy Taboo. How's it going? Now, in this video, I'm going to do something a little bit strange. I'm going to post a question. What are we supposed to do now? What am I supposed to be doing in video? And we're going to go over a few things you can be doing while we're waiting for the next part of Valencia to come out. Now, one of the first things that I'll say is obviously we've just had a new class come out. Well, technically two. We've got the Ninja and the Kunoichi. Now, I've only spent a tiny bit of time on these and they seem really fun. Very mobile, very interesting, and some of their animations are absolutely incredible. So if you haven't tried it, take a little bit in the evening off and have a play around with them. They're really cool and very fun. Now, while we go into that, what are some of the things that we probably need to be doing at this point in BDO so far? So I've put a list of some of the things that I think we should be doing. Now, one of the first that I've put here is grind some cash. Now, of course, you're going to use cash for just about everything that you do now and in the future. Now, one of the good things while you want to grind cash as well is we've just had the Night Vendor release, and the Night Vendor is absolutely fantastic. You can spend 50 energy for a chance to get, well, you can buy some really random items. Now, most of them are pretty cool, but not all of them are necessarily worth it. Now, let me give you a couple of examples. So far what I've had lots of weapon stones and armor stones. Yeah, you buy them cheaper than you do off the auction house, so they're not the big ones. You can get bundles of sharp and hard shards. Now, that's where it gets interesting, because you might pay 8 million for a bundle of 3 to 5 hard or sharp shards. Now, if you think one sharp shard normally at the moment is about 6 to 7 million, so if you're getting 5 for the price of basically 1.5, that's an absolute steal. Now, with the fact that they now have this value pack on, you could potentially use this then to sell and make more money. Now, that's if you've already got your gear up, but I'll touch that in a bit. So yeah, use this time to grind for some cash. And currently, and I do say currently, we're still in this thing of these ancient relics that are around. And these ancient relics at the moment, for instance, we have the golden dagger. Now, the golden dagger we can sell if we get it for 5 million. And I tell you what, when you get one of them dropped during a grind session, you instantly think, wow, that is some good cash that I've just got. So yeah, at the moment what you could be doing, grind some cash and test your luck out at the Night Vendor. See if you can get some of that boss armor. So, I said also that there's the 2 new classes that have came out. Maybe use this time to test out a few ults. Now, the reason why I say this is a good time to test ults, make sure you're comfortable with the class you're playing. Now, the danger is when you come over from other MMOs is you could be a real ultaholic and you really want to have everything. I know I used to be like this in a lot of other MMOs. But this one, even though you sort of get rewarded for doing it, because ultimately the more ults you have, the more quests you have, more energy you can potentially store up on different characters, you start to get penalised when it comes from getting your combat skill points. Now, of course, you can go for all the quests to get a certain amount, but the rest you just have to hard grind. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, oh yeah, but I've already got a full build, so I don't need to grind anymore. In theory, you'd think that's right, but no, let's think what's coming over. We have the new Awakening weapons, and with the Awakening weapons, there comes a whole new set of skills. Now, these skills we have to unlock using, that's it, combat skill points. So the more that you can farm now, the better. So when I say, now's the time to test an ult out, yes, test an ult out, but also at the same time, find which character you really like, make it your main and potentially stick with it and start grinding some of these combat skill points, because when it comes out for the Awakening weapons, you'll be so glad that you have these extra 200, 300, 400 points ready and waiting to go. If you look at the damage on these skills that you're going to get, you'll think it's crazy not to be able to get them. So, you've been grinding your cash, you finally picked what main you're going to have out of all your ults. Now, what's the next thing to do? Yes, let's start getting your gear up. Of course, recently they've just brought out the whole Pry, Duo, Try, Tet and Pen. Now, I think it's going to be quite a while before we see too many people going around with pens, and it's still already rare to see people getting the Tets. But to get to Try is not as hard as it seems. So one of the things I'd definitely suggest doing is making sure you get your weapons up. Your weapons is an easy source to get AP. Also, at the moment, there's a lot of cheap Lavertos going. I guess that's with stuff like the Night Vendor and all these ways to get Lavertos now. A lot of people already have them. So they're actually starting to drop in price. Where it used to be, say, 9 million, and then you used to either have to camp it really well to actually buy it, or you had to put a high bid on the pre-purchase. Now they're just sitting in the storage areas. Now you can go buy them pretty easy. So get one and start trying to get it up. It's really not too hard to get it to Pri and Duo. Yes, I admit Tri can be a bit more frustrating, but now is the time to do it. If you can get your full set to Tri, you're in a really strong place and you'll be able to go around Valencia without having too many problems. I remember the first time I walked into Valencia with full 15 gear and I thought, wow, the mobs here hit so hard and they take so long to die. Now I go back on a character which is pretty much full of duos, the weapons are Tri, and I just walk through it. The difference is insane, and it's definitely something to bear in mind. So one other thing as well, which I'd say it's definitely worth doing at this point, find yourself a guild which you enjoy. Now obviously guilds aren't for everyone, but hey, there's nothing better than when you're doing a nice big grind is to be with people who you find fun and amusing. So if you can find a good guild, it'll make your grinding experience so much better. Now also what you can be doing is taking part in siege wars. Now the test period is finally over, you can be doing these siege wars, and I have to admit personally they are so fun. I really love doing these and I can't wait to do more, and it's something at the moment I'm really thoroughly enjoying doing. Now, the last thing which I'd say is something that you can be doing, but I'm still a little bit 50-50 about it myself, is talking about getting your professions or your life skills up. Now, I say it's hard to say getting your life skills up, other than the fact of I think AFK fishing is an absolute must now because ancient relic shards are just worth so much. And I'm definitely not saying sell them. Keep them, do the boss scrolls, get the memory fragments. Memory fragments are literally gold. Keep them, they are amazing. But other than that, I can't imagine myself doing AFK riding anymore, or AFK sort of walking around to get my strength up. So I do think that's probably something that you might not need to focus on. As far as getting professions going, I personally am trying to spend all my energy on trying to go for the night vendor. Now, of course, that is a big gamble. I might be doing it for a very long time, not getting anything out of it. But if you've already got your boss armor or you're happy not to do that, then yeah, take this time to get some of your professions up. Obviously, alchemy is always a nice one. Alchemy stones are a pain to get up. But if you've got the time and the cash to do it, hey, why not? It's such a good add-on to your arsenal to have an alchemy stone which you can prop when you need it. So yeah, use the time to do those sort of things as well if you feel like you've got the free energy. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to say. Now, this is something which I find really interesting. But for some reason, obviously we got Media out before we got the plus sort of 16 and onwards weapons. And we still managed to go through it quite nicely. Now, Dam did a good job of lowering the mobs' health and making them easier to kill. But as a lot of people noticed when we went into Valencia, wow, these mobs take a lot of hash. Now, I can personally now go through centaurs, pull a group and not have too much of a problem and kill them quite quick. Now, luckily that's because I've got okay gear now, and I'm sure a lot of you are getting to that stage, or maybe even have passed that stage anyway. But what you've got to keep in mind is this is all going to change when we get the awakenings. When we get the awakenings, our hit percentages go through the roof, our damage is going to skyrocket, and then we'll want to go to places like Valencia to farm, rather than at the moment where we're sort of sticking at Salsons and Pirates to get XP. Valencia will be the place to go. So maybe use this time to make sure your nodes are all connected. And I did say about wasting energy, or say investing energy, but maybe have a character there back at Hydel or Calphion who is resetting your knowledge on things. If you know that realistically the Basilisk Belt is going to be your best in slot for a long time, and same with the Crescent Rings, hey, get those mobs up to S rank. Try and get your node up as well. Now again, that's depending on whether you want to use your energy for the shop or whether you want to use it for your node, but these are all things that you should consider, and if you can get ahead of that now, I'm sure when Valencia hits you're gonna have a whale of a time. So there you go, that's my opinion on things which you should be doing at the moment in BDO. Now of course that is only my opinion. If you think that I've missed something out, please say below, and I'll probably try and put some annotations in, or I'll even make a part 2 if I've missed that much out. But again, this is just my opinion. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it and I hope you found it helpful. And anyway, till next time, take care guys, bye.